Before the video begins, I just want to say thank you for 500 subscribers and thank you for your continued support. Of course, special shout out to those who are my daily commenters, my daily viewers like CS, Bruce, and Daryl Torres. I see you guys in the comment section all the time, so thank you for your support. And before the video does begin, there will be spoilers for the entirety of the One Punch Man story across all of its media, so that means the manga, the anime, and even the webcomic. So what would have happened if Saitama wasn't present for the invasion that took place in the Alien Conquerors arc? Of course, I think that most people would just assume that it would have devastating results, like the defeat of all of the S-Class present there, or perhaps a standoff between the most powerful beings on Earth facing off against the alien tyrannical leader, Boros. Now, in my opinion, there are endless possibilities as to what could have gone down if Saitama just didn't exist or just wasn't there to essentially put an end to the invasion. So in today's video, I'm here to talk and theorize and of course discuss to you about some of these scenarios that I came up with and that could have possibly happened in the story if Saitama was not there. So let's start in the very beginning. Let's start where the invasion begins. And let's take Saitama out of the equation immediately, okay? So just after Genos and Bang were told that all of the S-Class heroes are being summoned to an emergency meeting at the Hero Association headquarters in A City, we see all of the S-Class heroes seated at a table waiting, except for the #1 ranked hero Blast and the #7 ranked hero at the time, Dr. Bofoy, aka Metal Knight. In the middle of their meeting discussing a prophecy from a note left by Shibabawa just as she choked to death from a cough drop. This letter that was left by Shibabawa stated that there is this prophecy that the Earth is in trouble. And just as the heroes confusingly question this reveal, the headquarters start to shake from attacks coming from the flying monster known as the Sky King and his henchmen. And just as they enact their plan to storm into the headquarters, the Sky King's henchmen are then suddenly seen falling with limbs severed and blood dripping as they descend beside the Sky King. And just as he looks up in shock to see a gigantic spaceship where it then proceeds to fire its artillery, instantly wiping out a city, we cut back to the Sky King's reaction where he displays his realization of horror and where he finds out that he is nothing compared to these beings that truly rule the skies and even the cosmos, where he is then sliced clean into by Melzargard, one of the 3 generals that serve under Boros. This is when then most of the S-Class start to take action, with some of them going down all the way to the bottom to investigate, those heroes being Atomic Samurai, Silver Fang, Metal Bat, and Puri Puri Prisoner. While some of the other heroes go up on the roof to investigate and of course examine the situation. So those heroes are Tatsumaki, Genos, Darkshine, King, Child Emperor, and later on we see Tank Top Master and Drive Knight arrive to the scene at the very bottom where the other S-Class heroes are fighting. And of course the rest of the S-Class heroes that were at the meeting seem to have disappeared for the entire rest of the invasion for no apparent reason, or so it seems, because in one of the OVAs or special episodes of season 1, it was explained as to why some of the heroes abandoned a city during the invasion. Of course, Silverfang states that it was confirmed that the heroes that left simply left just to go take care of other threats that are going on in other cities, because even during alien invasions, monsters still go out their way to cause trouble. So Flashy Flash and Zombie Man and maybe not Metal Knight were confirmed to be, going around and stopping threats going around the world, other than just focusing on the invasion. And of course, the other heroes had more specific reasons for leaving the invasion. Watchdog Man only wants to watch over his own city, that being Q City. Pig God was hungry, so he probably left to another city to go eat, or maybe he just stayed at the Hero Association headquarters and ate. Who knows? So everything from here would play out as normal. We have 4 of the S-Class heroes, including A-Class Eion, busy fighting Melzargard, and of course the other 4 S-Class heroes are on top of the roof analyzing the spaceship and assessing the situation. So this is where our first scenario comes in, and probably the most plausible scenario, and that would take place if Saitama wasn't there, and that would be a battle between all of the S-Class present and Boros. Of course, because Saitama isn't inside the spaceship, wreaking havoc, busting doors down, completely killing everyone and anything that's inside of there, that means Guryagenshoup has his full focus entirely on the battle taking place below him, and that means Guryagenshoup can send reinforcements, of course, command the underlings and the fodder to shoot their artillery. So that would cause a lot more trouble, okay? And not only that, of course, he can send the second general that serves under Boros. That would be Groribas, who I would assume really wouldn't give the 4 fighting down there trouble. In fact, if anything, Tatsumaki squad and Tank Top Master would probably come in and back them up if that was the case, where she would probably deflect the cannons coming from the spaceship right back at them, and probably handle Groribas, Melzargard, and Guryagenshoup at the same time. So at this point, you would have 10 S-Class heroes down there, where we would nevertheless see Tatsumaki use her Esper abilities to somehow just get everyone up into the ship, where we would either see the S-Class heroes find a way to bring down the ship where it would crash down, which probably wouldn't be very smart unless Tatsumaki like somehow manages to get them all out of the ship in time, or we could just see Tatsumaki use her immense psychic power and ability to manipulate gravity to force it to come down and crash, or rather just have them storm in and break into the spaceship. Either way, Guryagenshoup and Boros would have to interfere, where Guryagenshoup would be dealt with pretty easily, just like how I mentioned before. So that would mean Boros would be the only one left standing. Now we have Tatsumaki, Genos, Darkshine, Puri Puri Prisoner, Metal Bat, Bang, Atomic Samurai, King, Child Emperor, and Tank Top Master getting ready to face off against Boros, whether it be inside the ship or down below on the ground. And I did leave Drive Knight out because he did leave as soon as he saw that everyone else was capable of handling the situation, but even if he did end up staying, I don't think it would really matter. This scenario, from what I kind of think of, really comes down to how well the S-Class can work together and how well they can protect each other, because honestly, Boros is just so overwhelmingly powerful with regeneration, his immense strength, speed, and reflexes, and of course his ability to project energy beams that could wipe out the surface of the earth, blow up the earth. You know, it's really tough to really even work together and even, you know, cause or injure Boros in some kind of way. So most of the S-Class, if not all of the S-Class, are pretty much fodder to him, except for maybe and arguably Tatsumaki. So this could really just go down to a Tatsumaki versus Boros in a one-on-one. And, you know, I'm not a super nerdy, passionate power scaler. That's a job for the other people who deal with those types of numbers and scenarios and stuff, but I'm just simply here to tell you about, you know, the possible scenarios that I came up with. So with that being said, let's move on to our second scenario here. So let's say that in the battle between Tatsumaki and Boros, that the earth is somehow still intact and, you know, not blown up from their sheer power, okay? But no, but seriously, let's say that Tatsumaki is defeated, okay? And with the rest of the S-Class that were also battling and helping out Tatsumaki are now incapacitated as well. So now I can certainly see a plan being formed by the Hero Association to not only deploy the rest of the S-Class that left, but all of the heroes in the Hero Association to Boros' location. So now that the remaining S-Class heroes are there, like Zombie Man, Pig God, Watchdog Man if they somehow convince him to leave the city, and of course Metal Knight if they find a way to contact him, and of course all of the other heroes now closing in on Boros' position, with maybe a plan set in place to somehow defeat Boros, or maybe while the more powerful heroes being the heavy hitters like Metal Knight, who will probably unleash an army of robots on him, with like the rest of the heroes, like, you know, the C-Class, B-Class, A-Class, the more weaker heroes just provide some kind of support. They will probably buy some time to release like a final ace in the hole, which will be like Blast, of course, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to say if they can even buy enough time for them to, like, you know, find some more backup, or try to find a way to get in contact with Blast, but I can definitely see this going in Boros' favor, and he may, just lack of a better term, just no diff the entire Hero Association. Now, I'm not sure if I really want to count this possibility that I'm about to explain to you guys as like an entire scenario itself, but here it is anyways. I can definitely picture the Hero Association trying to negotiate with Boros instead of, trying to send out all of their heroes at once, only for them to die, essentially. Or if they can get in contact with Blast somehow, and, honestly, I don't think there's really a way to sway Boros or persuade Boros to just leave, or somehow get him to stop, because his disappointment, from his sheer disappointment from not finding a worthy adversary on their planet would certainly make him, probably just destroy the entire planet. He's known to have conquered many planets and destroyed, killed many people, civilizations, who knows. But their planet, or at least the One Punch Man's Earth, isn't just inhabited and protected by humans and heroes. We have other creatures, other beings and organizations that are out there, and of course this is where our third scenario comes into play. So after the battle between the S-Class with Tatsumaki and of course Boros, which was certainly broadcasted to the entire world to see, and when I mean like everyone, I mean like everyone on Earth saw this battle go down. Seeing a threat as powerful as Boros and hearing that he has defeated the strongest heroes in the Hero Association, then I'm inclined to believe that every organization, faction, group, character, everyone will go out their way to protect their lives and of course the planet they live on. We know that there are several mysterious known and even unknown clans out there, like the ninjas from the ninja village, or the swordsmen from like the samurai dojos, the martial arts dojos, and even some characters from the Neo Heroes, because the Neo Heroes wasn't really established back then, so maybe we could see some of the individuals from that hero organization come in to help as well. And of course, don't forget, we also have the Monster Association, who are currently hidden from civilization deep underground, who have some characters that are as powerful as the S-Class, if not even surpassing the S-Class. And of course, the same goes for the other organizations that I mentioned before. Now, I have no idea how everyone is going to be able to cooperate or even be able to work as a team, and maybe they won't. Perhaps each org will take turns attacking Boros, just laying it on him, but that wouldn't really be very smart either way. If they figure it out and form a plan so that everyone works together, then it can certainly be a tricky situation for Boros. We know the potential that a lot of these characters or monsters have. These guys are all very, very powerful beings themselves, so I feel like Boros would have some kind of trouble unless he unleashes his like final like trump card, that being the Roaring Star cannon. He could, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I'm not a power scaler. That's really up to you to decide. So if you don't believe that quite literally everyone on the planet working together is enough to stop Boros from unleashing hell on Earth, then I have one more scenario for you. That scenario is having Blast and his unknown team of allies, aka the Blastice League, working together to defeat Boros. And so to describe how this would probably go down, we can start from like the beginning. Honestly, there's a lot of places where we can start from, but let's just start here, okay? Well, one of the ways that this can start is by, let's just say, Tatsumaki being on the verge of defeat, and right as she's about to be finished off by Boros, let's say that Blast suddenly appears and stops Boros from landing that final blow, and they start to battle. Or maybe we'll see Blast teleport her away, or maybe even teleport Boros away. Or we could probably see Blast just show up randomly during negotiations, just surprisingly just show up out of nowhere in the middle of the negotiation going down. Regardless, Blast will definitely throw down, and whether or not he can handle Boros alone or not, he still has his team that he can rely on to help him out. We know that the Blastice League are extremely powerful individuals, being able to have powers that can manipulate space and time, gravity, and all of that stuff. These guys are no joke. Blast was able to give Garo a run for his money. just by a bit. And you know, we did see that all of them working together were able to counter 2 serious punches, however powerful that was. We've seen them just completely redirect that type of energy away. So I can imagine they could probably easily handle Boros, but either it could go down a lot of ways, and that's, of course, that's for you guys to decide. That's for you guys to discuss. And because Boros and the Blastice League would get involved, stuff could get crazy, and I mean really crazy. Because we know, like, for example, right, God could get involved, and because we know that God kind of takes advantage of like times of crisis where we could see Boros get influenced and even amped by God, which I feel like is definitely in the realms of possibility, but who knows at this point, okay? And I don't think I even want to go further than that in this conversation about the Blastice League defeating Boros or vice versa, because you know that could be a conversation for another time, or that's for you guys to decide in the comments below. All in all, I think it's super interesting to think and discuss about these hypothetical scenarios with you guys, and of course, please let me know your scenarios or thoughts on this topic in general, and I'll probably come up with more what if type videos in the near future. But for now, I am Amir Punch, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. See ya.